Greetings, YouTube. It's been a busy day for the contest, hasn't it? We had Alliance War rewards handed out in the wee hours of America and probably the morning of across the pond, if you will. And then we had this new 2018 champs so far, although I've seen many complaints that didn't include champs like Ghost, which caused some people to not, go for that crystal. And then now we've got upcoming changes to Mystic Dispersion and Dexterity. Now, off the top, I want to go ahead and say that I was not part of the beta test. So the information that I'm about to give you is only things that I have read up on from people who have sent me personal messages with their thoughts and or just generally some videos that I've seen regarding what it looks like for the test. So this is an inconclusive, formal reaction, and I want to go ahead and say that of all fairness because I don't want to give you incomplete information and make you think that this is the end-all and be-all of this. Personally, the Mystic Dispersion is going to be a lot easier for me to talk about than the Dexterity. The Dexterity is going to really not be understood fully until I can get in and see if I can still dodge projectiles just as easily as I could before, and if I can, what that does to the overall makeup of buffs and debuffs and you name it. So let's talk real quick about this announcement. So Kabam Mike put an announcement out that in June we held a beta test for some potential changes to Mystic Dispersion and Dexterity. We received a lot of feedback from our beta testers and are pleased to announce that we are now ready to move ahead with the changes as they had been presented to our beta testers. The changes: Mystic Dispersion now only triggers when a buff on the opponent is nullified or expires, specifically meaning the buff lasts its full duration. Dexterity no longer triggers a precision buff if one is already active. The precision buff now converts to one with a short duration after landing a hit. The length of the duration scales depending on how many ranks are active in Dexterity. These changes were based on a lot of feedback we had received on these two masteries in the past and were well received by our beta testers. We believe that even with these changes, Mystic Dispersion will still be a very powerful and effective mastery, but realize that some summoners may no longer wish to make use of it. Therefore, forgot the E on that, we have created a plan to give all players a chance to test out the new Mystic Dispersion, but also have the option to reallocate their resources away from Mystic Dispersion if they so choose. On August 31st, we will lock the ability to purchase any more levels of Mystic Dispersion. This is also when we will be taking our snapshot of Summoner Masteries and Mastery Core inventories. Any Mastery Cores purchased after this date will not be refunded. On September 5th, with the release of our next update, we will activate the new version of Mystic Dispersion. You'll then have 6 days to test out the new Mystic Dispersion, because on September 11th, during the scheduled maintenance, we will remove Mystic Dispersion from all Summoners Masteries and refund all of the loyalty or units that were spent on Mystic Mastery Cores. Any Mystic Mastery Cores that were found or gifted will be refunded as loyalty as well. That's kind of cool. Any cores in your inventory will be refunded and removed on September 11th. Mystic Dispersion will once again be available to be purchased and ranked up again. You will then have the option to once again purchase the Mastery Cores necessary to unlock and rank up Mystic Dispersion for the week following September 11th. Mystic Mastery Cores will be available in the Loyalty and Mastery Store, and there will be no cost to rank up your Masteries. That's awesome as well. Now, you'll probably have a lot more questions regarding the actual changes themselves, so we've compiled a number of these questions from our beta testers have asked us. All right, so why are you trying to adjust these changes? The biggest issue we're attempting to address is feeling like there's no way to play around Mystic Dispersion. And this is exceptionally true, for people like Juggernaut, and Dormammu is a big one that a lot of people have told me that has just given them headaches in Alliance War. So in a lot of cases, this is trying to make it to where the Mystic paths are not so stressful. I will say that Blade and the Ghost Rider synergy, and a lot of people have told me also the Blade and the Dormammu synergy really took care of that and a lot of these changes, but I guess they wanted to do this as well. And so this is only able to be triggered when something expires. So what's really good about that is that if you're using Dexterity against a high Mystic Dispersion champ and you are trying to bait their special one or their special two, let's say you're trying to get Juggernaut to use his special one, and every time you've used Dexterity in the past, his power bar has grown substantially, especially if he's got 5 out of 5 maxed out for Mystic Dispersion. So you will activate Mystic Dispersion the first time that you evade back, But as far as I can understand, it will not be activated or second or third time automatically if you evade back and forth until the timer of that first Mystic Dispersion has expired. Thus, the enemy will not be gaining power nearly as much from you moving back with your dexterity. And that is going to be huge, because otherwise you're constantly going to be trapped in that left corner and unable to do much besides parry. So in conclusion, I definitely think my first response to this is that the Mystic Dispersion changes are going to help Alliance War, especially against champs like Dormammu. But at the same time, I have yet to really be confident that Dexterity will be better. It might be. I haven't tested it yet, but I'm just not as confident until I'm able to play around with it in the next couple of weeks to know for sure if I can tell any significant difference. And Dexterity is such an important part of not dying, right? Especially when you're going up against champs in Labyrinth of Legends and you're relying on it to evade, like the final boss is Special 1, the Maestro boss. So I just really am curious about the timing of this, and as always, I want to know what you think, especially those of you that were part of this beta test, and I think you can comment below and let me know, or hit me up in the Line app without any fear of outing yourself as an anonymous beta tester. So please hit me up, and as always, thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for commenting. I do my best to put the feedback out from the community as fast as possible, and I'm going to be pinning the link to this specific discussion thread in a comment below on this video. So if you don't know how to access it, you can just click that link, and it'll take you right to the discussion. Thanks for watching, YouTube.